Good morning and welcome to the Coffee Run Live. Did that work? Have we got text? Whew. Bloody Facebook, and they're playing around with different things. It's so annoying. Welcome to episode 447. It's insane. It's really interesting how fast time goes, and I know that for a lot of you that are starting out and moving forward, good morning. Let me know that you can hear me and what you're celebrating on this beautiful Monday morning. What's really interesting is how fast time goes and how fast actually transformation can occur. So as I've spoken to you guys, like I'm vegan at the moment and doing this training program, and it's really interesting. And it's like I've been grumbling my way into things probably up until about last Thursday, enjoying all the food. There's a bit of, working out, which is fine. I'm really enjoying that as well. And I was like, I don't feel like my body's changed, blah, 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 blah. And, there's all of this refinement and stuff that I want, right? And it's really interesting. I was saying to my husband yesterday, I'm like, I'm really excited for Monday so I can do my measurements and see how I feel, because I feel like there's a little bit of shifting happening, which is fun, I think, and good. If you're doing any kind of way of eating change, whether it's muscle building, whether it's whatever it is, it's good to feel changes occur. And so I've gotten out of the shower this morning, I'm like doing my measurements, I'm like, yes, they are small improvements, but they are improvements nonetheless. And I really think that it's really interesting how quickly, or with a little bit of effort or a little bit of a shift of focus, how things can change and can carry on, and quite obviously keep carrying on when you're really committed and you're really willing to do something. So that's not what I wanted to talk to you about today. I just thought it was interesting as we were coming on. I'm like, yeah, I really feel like I can't believe that we're at episode 447. Like, that just seems really crazy to me. But then the other thing is, it's like, well, when you show up every day, it's kind of not a surprise either. I don't know. You guys know what I mean. So what I want to talk to you about today was a conversation that has come up a little bit particularly over the last week, given the state of Victoria and some further restrictions that have come into play and things like that, which is really disappointing. I can't even begin to tell you. I've been hanging to try and get away and maybe get up to Queensland and do a little bit of traveling a little bit later on in the year, and it looks like that's just been whipped out from underneath us. It's like, oh man, of all the states to live in, why do we have to live in Victoria? But that's okay too. I think the really important thing is in times like this, and I've spoken about this around the time of the fires here in Australia and the floods here in Australia and all the other shit things that we've had happen in this country this year and towards the end of last year. The really important thing that we've got to remember is that our people, our audiences, a lot of them are feeling some sense of panic. I was talking with my clients this morning on our 6 a.m. 30-day challenge call. And what we were talking about, we're all talking about how we're kind of feeling at the moment and what we're experiencing and the uncertainty that is all around. And one of the questions that came up was, well, how do you reconcile the thought of continuing to market? This wasn't how it was framed, but essentially, how do you reconcile with the need and the desire to keep marketing yourself and marketing your business, and to keep doing things even when things are in the rest of the world aren't really kind of going the way that we would like them to, the way that we would want them to. And to me, the biggest thing, if we think about human behavior and what drives people are really, they need to feel significant. They need variety. They need certainty, right? So we have a basic human need of certainty. And when all of this shitstorm unravels and unleashes in the world, it can feel like, again, like we're floating around and bobbing around in the air and just being like, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm doing. And what can happen is that can really feed that sort of cycle of overwhelm and panic and uncertainty. And whilst we have a human need for variety as well, most of us like to be able to choose the variety that we have, like where we go on holiday or where we shop at a supermarket and stuff like that. The where uncertainty kind of comes in is when we don't know what's happening from week to week. So how can you help your people? That's really the big question. So one of the biggest things that you can do is, no matter what it is that is going on around the world at any time, right? It doesn't matter what happens to be going on. It doesn't matter what scenario you find yourself in or anything like that. The thing that's really important is that you show up and that you are the certainty for your people, that you give them a sense of certainty, that they can count on you, that they can bank on you, that they know that they can come and look at you and listen to you for advice, hints, tips, motivation, inspiration, that you are going to, no matter what, that you are going to show up and that you're going to keep showing up for them. So for instance, I know that there's some of you do a lot of in-person work, right? And particularly in Melbourne and the regional Melbourne area, you guys are locked up for another 6 weeks. So rather than kind of feeding the narrative that is going on the internet, what you can do instead is follow more like maybe a 90%, 10% split of your content. For 10% of it, you might talk about what's going on, right? And make mention of it. But for the most part, it should be business as usual as much as you can. And I don't usually tell people what they should and shouldn't do, because it does really need to come from a place of alignment and stuff like that. But here's the thing. If you can be that bedrock foundation of certainty, that anchor in a tempest that makes you think of that U2 song, if you can be the anchor in a tempest, then that's something that they can latch onto. And if you can provide them a way of having something in their world that is consistent, that they can rely on, it helps them to feel really safe, right? It helps them to feel like, okay, almost like a sense of hope that you're going to get through it, that this will be okay, that we're all in this together. We just, focus on this thing instead of going down this train of thought. Because for most of us, what we find is that we've got communities and pockets of people who are, all they do is talk about COVID. All they do is talk about the conspiracy theories or the anti-conspiracy theories or, whatever it is that's going on. And so like every conversation is like, well, what do you think about this? And then what do you think about this? And then what do you think about this? If you make mention of it, then that's fine. Keep it to about 10%, even less. You don't even have to mention it at all. You can still be respectful of, obviously what's going on, but you don't have to mention any of that stuff at all. The thing that I would be doing at every day of this whole week and every day of next week and every day for the foreseeable future is just to keep showing up, keep delivering your message, keep educating, keep helping, keep motivating, keep inspiring, keep giving people something to look forward to. Keep giving people an escape from those drama, and that's what they are. They're really drama-fueled conversations that are, you can't change anything, right? You can't, we can't change anything. We can change how we react. We can change how we feel. We can change how we show up. We can change how we influence. We can change how we do things. But really, at the end of the day, all of the stuff that's going on is going to go on regardless of if you weigh into it with your content or not. And so for them, if they've got all of these other ways of being able to fuel that drama, great, go listen to that. But for you, I would have those, I talked about this last week, those white lines of focus where you're just like, bang, I'm just going to show up. Hey, Jill, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be there for the people. I'm going to be that anchor, that sense of certainty, that person that they can rely on for their motivation, for their inspiration, for whatever it is that they need. And you've just got to keep doing that. The payoff for this, in the short term and in the long term, is that people will seek you out, right? If you are not that drama fueling person online, you know, with your people, which you shouldn't be anyway, but you know, each to their own. But if you're the kind of person that is always showing up, that is always consistent, and you're the calm amongst that storm, that really good anchor, that really important, solid, sound voice of reason, focusing on what they can do, focusing on what they can look at, focusing on one step that they can just take today, then you will be remembered throughout all of this time as someone that they could really rely on, even if they're not working with you, right? Even if they're not paying you any money, even if it is just through your free stuff that you're doing. It is so important, you guys, to show up consistently no matter what is going on. So that is my little sermon for today. Keep showing up, be the anchor for them, and give them someone that they can rely on, and something that they can rely on that is resourceful, that is helpful, right? And serves them essentially. So that is that. Now, if you do want help with that, and if you know that you've got all of this stuff just burning within you, that you're ready to kind of like just unleash and get out into the world, and you want a bit more accountability, a bit more support, then please, by all means, check out the Soar Collective. The link is in the comments. For those listening on audio, go to www.nicolamoras.com.au/soar. On that note, I would love to hear what you're focusing on for this week. If you'd be so excited and happy to share, either privately through Messenger or in on here, let us know what you're focusing on. How can we help you create that really strong bedrock, that anchor for your people? Let us know how we can help you. Otherwise, what is your job? Your job is to get out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it. And please, of course, remember that the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. Have an amazing week, and I will talk with you tomorrow, if not before. Bye.